This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That little solo there was there to illustrate, well, nothing in particular really. I just needed a piece of music for this video, and I never miss an opportunity to just kind of throw something together because it's my job and I love doing it. It's fun. But today's Wednesday, and that means that we're doing something related to rhythm notation, understanding rhythms, all that kind of rhythmic sphere of things. And I don't know if you remember a few years ago, Lee Anderton was taking some guitar lessons. He ended up having a few lessons off Danish Pete. But before that, I think it was before that, he was having lessons off Justin Sanderco. And I distinctly remember one of the lessons where, because these were all put out as YouTube videos, I distinctly remember one of the lessons where Justin told Lee that the best thing you can do to improve your guitar playing is learn to transcribe stuff. Learn to tab it out. It improves your timing. It improves your phrasing. It lets you know whether or not that fancy lick that you've been practicing for, a few weeks just to kind of get it right, will that actually fit in the solo that, you want to put it into, or will it be too long or not long enough? It also, transcribing stuff also enables you to get much more familiar with hearing, or being able to translate what you're hearing to the fretboard, because you're hearing pieces of music, or you're hearing licks, or you're hearing riffs or whatever, and then you're putting them down in a tab, and then you've got to find them on, and as part of doing that, you've got to find them on the fretboard. And that's what we're about today. I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I go about tabbing out the solo that we kicked the video off with. And there's going to be a strong emphasis in this on how I'm hearing the rhythms of the licks. Which beat of the bar is it starting on? Which beat of the bar is it ending on? Is it an 8th note? Is it a 16th note? Is it, whatever it is it tied over onto the next beat? All of this kind of stuff that I've been talking about in these previous videos on understanding rhythms and rhythm notation. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of an insight into how to do this, and maybe you might want to have a go yourself. Anyway, let's head off over over to what I was filming about 5 minutes ago before I'm filming this bit and take a look at me tabbing out some licks.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is just take a little bit of a look at me tabbing out the first couple of bars or so of that solo that you heard at the beginning of the video. And the aim of this is to show you how I'm kind of hearing the rhythms and translating those onto into rhythm notation that you'll see in the tab. So let's get straight to it. I'll show you what I've got done in the tab so far. Let's bring that up on screen. Here it is. I've done 2 tracks, and we can look at the both tracks together. We've got the chords track here, which I've just done on a basic sort of piano voicing, there, acoustic grand piano, and we've got the solo track, which I'm about to start on, which is on an overdriven guitar sound. So I don't need to look at the chords track as I'm tabbing out the lead part, so I'm just going to hide that by turning off the multi-track view, and that just gives me the solo track there. So let's have a listen to the first lick and see what we've got. It's what have we got here? It's this, isn't it? Da, 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 da. Okay, so just the first part of that I'm interested in. Da, 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 da. Right, once again. Right, so da, 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 da. That last pair of notes there, they're happening on beat 1 of the first bar. So kind of working back from that, I think what I'm hearing is this, where we have a 2-beat rest in the first half of that pickup bar, and then a half-beat rest after that. So that's kind of 1 and 2 and 3, and then the first note in the solo, or the first double stop in the solo, are this pair of notes here, where I'm hitting a bend on that note. So we can do this with a keyboard shortcut, but then you don't get to see what I'm doing, and some of these keyboard shortcuts in this will interfere with OBS that I'm recording this in. So we'll just put a bend on there and then move over to the next beat. So what we've got here is 1 and 2 and 3, and now there's nothing happening on beat 4, on the downbeat of beat 4, but there is another, well, it's bend again happening here on the and of beat 4. So we'll kind of put that there. I'm going to put that bend in a moment, but the first thing to address is that this double stop is sustaining into the next bar, and I indicate that with a tie line like this, and then another one on that note there, and I think this is only going to be an 1/8 note in length, so I'm going to shorten that like that. Now I'm going to come back and put the bend on this note. Now you notice when I come out of that bar that I'm working on, it turns red to tell me that there's not enough notes in that bar. Okay, I know that, but you know, just in case you're wondering what was happening. So now I've got a bend and release to put on this 2nd fret note here. So once again, go into the bend menu, and we want a bend and release, and then that takes us into the next bar. Let's go and see how that kind of finishes. Okay, got it. So what happened there? Get out of the way. We're getting this here. Let's have a listen to that. Where's the play button gone to? There it is. Okay, then it's coming down to the 4th string open there. Then I'm hearing another note on the and of that beat. Let's just have a listen. Let's go back and da 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 2 and. Okay, so, and there's also a little grace note hammer on going on into that, so I'm going to put that in there. So we'll just go into here, grace note, and it's hammering on from the open string to the 2nd fret, and it's happening bang on the beat, not before the beat, as a hammer on. There we go. Then that is then being tied over to the beginning of the next beat. Let's just go back and check. So back this up a little. Diddle-a-da-da. Okay, that little bit there, diddle-a-da-da, that is that's happening on the da-da bit of that diddle-a-da-da. That last little kind of pair of notes there, da-da, is happening on beat 4, which means I've got, I think what I'm hearing here as a pair of 30-second notes. Let's just go and see which strings they're on. Right, so it's happening on the third and second string. So a 30-second note, then another one, then coming off to a 16th note, like that, and then this is an 8th note. Let's have a listen to that. Where's the play button gone? There it is. Right, and this should be a hammer on. So let's put that in as a hammer on and a pull off. Again, I normally do this kind of thing with keyboard shortcuts, which speeds things up quite a bit, but those keyboard shortcuts will interfere with OBS Studio. So yeah, we've got that. Let's hear that again. Right, let's do one more bar. Oh, that's easy. Da da da. Okay, what's happening there is we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, so we'll put this in. That's going an 8th note on that beat, and then nothing on beat 2 or the downbeat of beat 2, but hitting that note there on the end of beat 2. We've also got like a little grace note slide into that note there, so let's just put that in grace note, sliding up from the 2nd fret. There we go. And this note here is definitely being tied into the next at least half a beat. Let's go and have a listen to it. Okay, yeah, I can already hear what that is, but I'll back it up so you can kind of get a chance to. Da 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 da. So that da da da. Okay, that's the last pair of 16th notes in this bar, which means that this is lasting for a beat, at least the end of beat 2 there and all of beat 3. Sounds like it's being sustained for the first half of beat 4 as well. So now that leaves me with 2 16th notes to put in, so that's going to be that and that. Let's have a listen to that bar. You know what, I'm not sure about that sustaining that long, so I'm going to undot that quarter note, which leaves me an 8th note short in this bar, but that's not a problem. I can just go bar, insert a beat. Where do I get that? Again, this is, don't normally do it like this. Insert a bar, note, insert a beat. There we go. Now it's not the right beat value. That's a 16th note. I want that to be an 8th note, so just change it up here. Let's have a listen to that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. One more bar. I'm enjoying myself. Back it up. Da da da, 1 and 2 and so that's going to there, and that's an 8th note, and then it's coming down to here for another 8th note, which is extended or tied to the next beat like this, and then I think sounds like we're doing that again. So again, this will light up in red in a moment because I've got the wrong number of beats in the bar yet. That'll do. And that's basically it. That's how how I'm listening to music. I'm listening for when the notes, which beat of the bar the notes are landing on, which note of the bar or which beat of the bar they're lasting until, when whereabouts the next note starts in terms of them, the 4 beats of the bar. Is it an eighth note? Da 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 da. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and is it a 16th note? Da 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 da. You know, you just get with practice, and it doesn't take a lifetime of practice to do this. It takes, kind of very short time at all. If you were determined to do, to get this level of fluency, then, I'd say by this time next year, you could be kind of doing this. Okay. And, you've just got to kind of listen for the rhythmic aspect of the music that you're playing, and learn to count it, and learn how that relates to, like lots of practice with a metronome. I would liken it to, as I'm speaking now, you're understanding the words that I'm saying, hopefully, and you know how those words are spelled. You're not consciously thinking, as you're listening to what I'm saying, about the spelling of the words that I'm using, but you know how they're spelled anyway. And if you had to write down something, in text that someone had actually spoken, then you could do it because, you know how those words are spelled. Well, you get the same level of fluency with rhythm notation, and it just takes a bit of practice. And essentially, if you can count to 4, you can do this. If I can do it, anyone can, trust me. And anyway, that's how I use an understanding of rhythm notation to tab stuff out. I enjoy doing it. If I've got a day full of tabs to do, then that's a good day in the diary. It's like it's a little bit like how some people treat a crossword puzzle, I suppose. Anyway, now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And by the time this video goes out, that entire solo will be tabbed out in both Guitar Pro, as you saw there, and or PDF, depending upon your preference. So full tab for the solo, Guitar Pro, PDF, along with that explanation and the jam track I was playing over as well. That's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address. Link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, it's $3 or about £3 a month, and you get access to all of this good stuff. Tabs, jam tracks, and video lesson content to download and keep. What's not to like? A massive thank you obviously to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. And before I go, I'll just say that if this is something that you're thinking is a little bit dry and a little bit academic and a little bit kind of frankly boring, then you've just got to get that out of your head and have a go, because when you transcribe something that's like a classic guitar solo and you've got it down in tab, and if it's a Guitar Pro tab, you can listen to it and it sounds right. Let me tell you, the sense of satisfaction from doing that, the achievement that you feel is considerable. And along the way, you're learning about where to place your licks in a bar. You've ever had that kind of problem where you've learned a lick from one of your favourite guitar players and it sounds fantastic when they do it, but it just doesn't kind of have the same bite and impact when you do it? Well, that's usually because of a timing problem or some kind of timing issue. You're playing it with a different timing to them, and if you can understand that whole world of timing and rhythm, then it completely negates that problem and solves it before it becomes an issue. Speaking from personal experience, I went from not being able to do this to being able to do it, and I think, well, I know I'm a better player because of it. So it's just something that's worthwhile doing, and it's worth the effort because of the satisfaction that it brings. I know some people will say that, no, this isn't for me, I'm not going to do this, this is too much, double maths, quadratic equations and algebra on a Friday afternoon before the weekend, and fair enough. If that's the way you feel, I'm not going to try and convince you. But if you are interested in getting kind of better at playing the guitar in all aspects, then whether it's kind of learning to recognise what you hear in terms of notes and fretboard locations and rhythms, then please give it a go and see how you get on. But that's the video for today, folks. Hope you found it useful, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And don't forget, of course, the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, regular as clockwork. We just basically have a beer and a chat on a Friday because it's a Friday. It's a great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.